Hello everybody, this is Mike from Mike's Towing in Bennington, New Hampshire. Today I'm going to do a short video about my 1981 BMW 936A2. This is a military vehicle that is commonly referred to as a 5-ton. This particular vehicle has been severely modified to fit as a functionable wrecker in the civilian and commercial industry. With that said, I will be placing in stock photographs of when I purchased the truck to try to avoid any confusion between the way the vehicle comes factory and the way this vehicle currently is now. Also, I would like to mention that I am not a military expert. I encourage anybody who does have knowledge of these vehicles, make a video and share that knowledge, as there is very little accurate information to be found. Okay, so moving under the hood, we have a Cummins 6CTA 8.3 liter. This is a turbocharged 505 cubic inch engine. Behind it is an Allison automatic transmission, and there is a transfer case with a high and low range. The transfer case can be put in high or low range, whether it is in all-wheel drive or not. The front end has a separate axle lock that can be engaged and disengaged as you need it. The vehicle comes equipped with 46-inch super single tires, and it also has CTIS, Central Tire Inflation System, which is an onboard module controlled system where you can adjust the tire pressure of the vehicle at the push of a button. The brake system is a system called wedge brakes. There are 2 air cans for each wheel. One of them is a 2-chamber, the other one is a single chamber. Other features to this brake system include a manual park brake drum on the end of the transmission. When you engage that, it also engages the spring brakes. There is brake override, which I will show you on the dashboard, which will override the different systems for use during self-recovery. And when the rear PTO is engaged, it locks all 6 wheels. With all of that said, including the CTIS, the vehicle has a ton of air lines and a ton of air valves. Moving to the front of the vehicle, we have the front mount winch. This is a 17,000 pound winch that comes with 280 feet of 5/8 cable. Factory, the only way to operate this winch is from inside the cab. As you can see here, a control for operating the winch has been added on the outside of the truck, and a tension plate has also been added. The nice feature about this winch is it does have a clutch to engage and disengage, and this is the only winch on the truck that has that feature. The side of this vehicle has had many modifications done to it, including the roof. This truck was originally a soft top. I fabricated a roof for it, and there were steps that went up so you could walk up on top of the body to get into the crow's nest to operate the vehicle and to access the toolboxes. The rest of the toolbox that you see in all of the doors are not factory, and you can see the little orangish nub sticking out. That is the outrigger. That has also been modified. In addition to those modifications, there was a 90-gallon fuel tank on the driver's side, a 50-gallon fuel tank on the passenger side. Behind the cab is where the spare tire usually sits, and there are also provisions for torch bottles. Here you see the factory flip-up lids for the toolboxes. Factory, the only way to access these toolboxes or the items inside of the toolboxes is by climbing up on the body. Other toolboxes on the truck include 2 small rear toolboxes and one toolbox that is part of the passenger side step. Next, we will move on to the Outriggers. There are two Outriggers on each side of the vehicle and are deployed when using the crane. These are not used in a winching application. As you can see, they slide out of the body and are hinged to swing down. There is a lock preventing them from coming out too far. There is also a pin that prevents them from sliding in during use. To lower the rigger, it is a simple nut and bolt style system. You simply rotate the rigger pad one way or the other to make your adjustments. The holes that you see on the collar are to put a pipe in to make a couple extra turns to really plant the rigger down flat. In addition to that, you are supposed to lower the CTIS system, which drops the air pressure in the tire and plants the truck firmly on the rigger pads. Back here we have rear glad hand air connections, service and emergency, both front and rear of this vehicle. Also beside that, you will see these little pockets. These are made to hold the recovery spade chocks, as they are officially called. You can see this rounded end fits into the pocket and pins in place, and the other end jams into the earth. They seem to work fairly well on soft surfaces, however they do little to nothing on hard surfaces. The rear hydraulic system of this vehicle runs off a transfer case driven system. The rear winch is the recovery tool on this vehicle in a factory setting. This is a 28,000 pound drag winch. It comes with 350 feet of 3/4 inch cable. Here you can see the roller and guide system for the wire rope. This helps the wire rope wind onto the drum properly. Being the length of the cable that can be deployed, this is a fairly crucial feature. Here you can see the control levers for the rear drag winch. One lever is in and out direction of the wire rope. The other lever is a torque and speed range selector. There is also a switch for a cable tensioning system. This cable tensioning system operates a air can similar to a brake, which moves this lever here. And that squeezes these rollers, creating tension on the wire rope while it is winding back onto the winch drum. The vehicle is equipped with a pintle hitch that it swivels for off-road use. Also, there is a 24-volt electrical pin connector for trailer wiring. This, of course, is for military vehicles. This is not a civilian trailer plug. Some information about the boom on this vehicle. This is a 360-degree rotating boom. It has a retracted capacity of 20,000 pounds. At full extension, it is a total of 18 feet. Originally, you would have found this boom with a single wire rope with fixed sheave wheels on the end of it. This boom is for material handling. It is not to be used as a wrecker in its factory setup. It is simply for picking things straight off the ground, rotating them to where you need them, and placing them straight down on the ground. Here we have the factory hoist winch, pump, and gear assembly. This is the hoist winch drum. This is a fluted drum, meaning there is a spiral groove cut in the drum that the wire rope seats into to prevent it from crossing over. In addition to that, there are these roller tensioners. The winch comes with 95 feet of half-inch wire rope. This is the boom control station. These are the only levers on the truck that you can operate the boom. While we were up here on top of the truck, I will show you the swing, hydraulic motor, and gearbox. And also over here is the backside of the hydraulic tank, which is a 100-gallon tank, and the filter assembly housing. The boom also features a roller system for when extending the boom. There is a set of rollers, top and bottom of the boom. Also, these pins here are for support arms that are used when transporting the vehicle, or also used as support braces if you are lifting something and do not need to utilize the swing. Also, there is a provision on the inner boom about halfway for a set of adjustable legs that you cannot see here now. I do not have them on the truck that extend up. This can bring you up to about a 30-degree angle on the boom, and you place the legs underneath it, and it gives you the ability to lift with maximum boom capacity while the boom is extended. Okay, here we are in the interior. As you can tell, there's been many modifications and some paint work done in here to make it a little bit more comfortable. Here we have all of the light switches. Also, driver and passenger windshield wiper controls. These are air-powered wiper motors. They hiss, they make a pile of noise. They're a little on the jumpy side, but they push rain off the window, and that's all that matters. This is your air filter restriction gauge, windshield washers, ether cold weather start system, and front axle engage. Below that, we have the switch that controls the fuel gauge. On the floor is the actual switch that switches tanks. That's on the floor behind the seat. Here we have blower motor controls, rear PTO brake system override. This overrides the entire brake system and still enables you to have the PTO engaged. This is an emergency stop. This is a pull cable that goes to the fuel shutoff valve in case the engine is over revving. This is a throttle up, battery on, and start and run switches. Over here we have the gauges, fairly standard gauge package. There is an ABS warning light. The vehicle does have anti-lock brakes, and an overspeed light for engine overspeed. Everything else you see here, the red dots, that is all for interior and gauge lighting. Here is a switch for warning beacons and a switch for boom floodlights. This here is the CTIS control system module. The selections here are highway, cross country, sand and snow, emergency, and run flat. Over here we have our climate control. Unfortunately, no AC. And we have another brake override. This one is to be used when you're doing self-recovery using the front winch, and this disengages the parking brake system. The parking brake lever is found here on the floor between the seats. There is a small roller that operates an air valve which engages the spring brakes, and the handle itself pulls a cable which operates the manual park drum on the back of the transmission. These handles here are to operate the front winch. One engages and disengages the transmission PTO. The other one operates the direction of winch. Here we have little defrost deflector vents, and I should also mention that the windshield of this vehicle does fold out. Here we have the transfer case selector lever, high, low, and neutral. To engage the front PTO, you throw the engage lever and operate it with the transmission in neutral. The rear PTO you engage by placing the transfer case lever in neutral, and then engage the PTO by throwing the lever, which is back here behind the seat. Once that is engaged, you place the transmission in gear to power the transfer case. I should also add that the vehicle cannot drive under its own normal driving power while either PTO is engaged. Okay, so that sums it up. Hopefully any of you that have any interest in this type of vehicle found some of this information valuable. This is my first ever video of this nature, so I apologize for the poor production. I do plan to record another video outlining all the customization that has been done to this particular vehicle, and also future videos displaying what the vehicle can actually do out there in the field. Thank you for watching.